Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. The Ratana Sutta. The city of Vasali was afflicted by a famine, causing death, especially to the poor folk. Due to the presence of decaying corpses, the evil spirits began to haunt the city. This was followed by a pestilence. Plagued by these three fears of famine, non-human beings, and pestilence, the citizens sought the help of the Buddha, who was then living at Rajagaha. Followed by the large number of monks, including the Venerable Ananda, his attendant disciple, the Buddha came to the city of Vasali. With the arrival of the Master, there were torrential rains which swept away the petrifying corpses. The atmosphere became purified. The city was clean. Thereupon the Buddha delivered this jewel discourse, Ratana Sutta, to the Venerable Ananda and gave him instructions as to how he should tour the city with the Dichavya citizens, reciting the discourse as a mark of protection to the people of Vasali. The Venerable Ananda followed the instructions and sprinkled the sanctified water from the Buddha's own alms bowl. As a consequence, the evil spirits were exorcised. That pestilence subsided. Thereafter, the Venerable Ananda returned with the citizens of Vasali to the public hall where the Buddha and his disciples had assembled awaiting his arrival. There, the Buddha recited the same jewel discourse to the gathering. Whatever beings, non-humans, are assembled here, terrestrial or celestial, may they all have peace of mind, and may they listen attentively to these words. O beings, listen closely. May you all radiate loving kindness to those human beings who, by day and night, bring offerings to you, offer merit to you. Wherefore, protect them with the diligence. Whatever treasure there be either here or in the world beyond, whatever precious jewel there be in the heavenly worlds, there is none comparable with the Tathagata, the perfect one. This precious jewel is in the Buddha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. That cessation, that detachment, that deathlessness, Nibbana supreme, the calm and collected Sakya sage, the Buddha had realized. There is not comparable to this Nibbana Dhamma. This precious jewel is the Dhamma. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. 4 ways of describing the Nibbana. The Supreme Buddha extolled a path of purity, the Noble Eightfold Path, calling it the path which unfailingly brings concentration. There is not comparable to this concentration. This precious jewel is the Dhamma. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. The 8 persons extolled by virtuous men constitute 4 pairs. They are the disciples of the Buddha and are worthy of offerings. Gifts given to them yield rich results. This precious jewel is the Sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. With a steadfast mind and applying themselves well in the dispensation of the Buddha Gautama, free from defilements, they have attained to that which should be attained, arahantship, encountering the deathless. They enjoy the peace of Nibbana freely obtained. This precious jewel is the Sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. As a post deep planted in the earth stands unshaken by the winds from the 4 quarters, so too I declare is the righteous man who comprehends with wisdom the noble truths. This precious jewel is the Sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. Those who realize the noble truths well taught by him who is profound in wisdom, the Buddha, even though they may be exceedingly heedless, they will not take an existence in the realm of sense spheres. This precious jewel is the Sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. With his gaining of insight, he abandons 3 states of mind, namely self-illusion, doubt, and indulgence in meaningless rites and rituals, should there be any. He is also fully free from the 4 states of woe, and therefore incapable of committing the 6 major wrongdoings. This precious jewel is the Sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. Any evil action he may still do by deed, word, or thought, he is incapable of concealing it, since it has been proclaimed that such concealing is impossible for one who has seen the path of Nibbana. This precious jewel is the Sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. As the woodland groves, though in the early heat of the summer month, are crowned with blossoming flowers, even so is the sublime Dhamma leading to the calm of Nibbana, which is taught by the Buddha for the highest good. This precious jewel is the Buddha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. The peerless excellent one, the Buddha, the knower of Nibbana, the giver of Nibbana, the bringer of the noble path, taught the excellent Dhamma. This precious jewel is the Buddha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. Their past karma is spent, their new karma no more arises. Their mind to future becoming is unattached. Their germ of rebirth consciousness has died. They have no more desire for reliving. Those wise men fade out of existence as the flame of this lamp which had just faded away. This precious jewel is the Sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. Whatever beings, non-humans, are assembled here, terrestrial or celestial, come, let us salute the Buddha, the Tathagata, the Perfect One, honored by gods and men. May there be happiness. Whatever beings are assembled here, terrestrial or celestial, come, let us salute the Perfect Dhamma, honored by God and man. May there be happiness. Whatever beings are assembled here, terrestrial or celestial, come, let us salute the perfect Sangha, honored by gods and men. May there be happiness. So, Ratana Sutta. So remember, last time we can do a little recap. So last week we actually talked about verse 6, the 8 persons. So 8 persons divided into 4 pairs. Why would there be 4 pairs? Why would there be 8 persons? Anybody who has jotted down their notes can put up their hand and answer this question. Laurie. There you go.
The 4 people are in 2 states. Either they're on the path or they have reached fruition.
Great, good, thank you. So which 4?
That would be the stream enterer.
Yep.
Once returner.
Yep.
Non-returner.
Yep.
And archon.
Good. Great, good. So that is verse 6. So the verse 3 is actually talking about the jewel in the Buddha, right? Verse 3. And verse 4 and 5 talk about the jewels in the Dhamma, which is also split into 2 aspects. I trust somebody would remember which 2 aspects of the Dhamma. Okay, first is the path. What path? Which path? The Eightfold Noble Path. Okay, where does the Eightfold Noble Path lead you to? Verse 4. Read verse 4. So where does Eightfold Noble Path, what is the destination of Eightfold Noble Path? Where does it lead you to? Nibbana! Right? So those are the 2 aspects of the jewel in the Dhamma. Is the Eightfold Noble Path itself is a jewel. And the fruition of Walking on the Eightfold Noble Path is the jewel in the Dhamma. Get that? Everybody get that? Remember that? I'm bound to ask that question again. And don't say that I haven't talked about it, okay? This is not a story. Okay. So, verse 4 and 5, we talk about the jewels of the Dhamma. So, and verse 6, we talk about the jewels of the Sangha. And so those are the 4 pairs and the 8 persons. So what are the jewels in that 8 persons? What are the jewels in that 8 persons? I asked that question last week. I don't know whether you remember. Not the same person can reply.
Versha's got a hand up.
Okay, Versha.
They are the virtues.
The virtues, okay?
Generosity, compassion, and wisdom.
Good. The virtues, and of course, the virtues of these Aryans. Not just the virtues, it also includes what? The fruition of the Aryans. Right? The fruition of these 4 pairs of people. So that is the jewel in them, because they have attained their fruition. All right? So now we go to, and then the last note, verse 6, it also said, because of these supreme virtues of these 4 pairs, 8 persons, and they are worthy of offerings. And because of, if somebody offers to you, to these Aryans, those people will reap tremendous merits. So that is what verse number 6 talks about. So now tonight we look at verse number 7. So with a steadfast mind and applying themselves well in the dispensation of the Buddha Gautama, free from defilements, they have attained to that which should be attained. Arahantship, encountering the deathless. So you know what does it mean by deathless? That means Nibbana. Okay? So with a steadfast mind, I had it highlighted in red. Next slide, please. Okay, I had it highlighted in red. So look at this verse, and then the following is they enjoy the peace of Nibbana freely obtained. This precious jewel is in the Sangha. Remember, I added that in. And then by this asseveration of the truth, may there be safety, security, peace, and happiness. So the last few sentences, we will look at it later on. But we look at these first few sentences. With a steadfast mind and applying themselves well in the dispensation of the Buddha Gautama, free from defilements, they have attained to that which should be attained, arahantship, encountering the deathless. So in this verse, actually the Buddha is talking about a Sangha, a particular member of the Sangha. Which one? A particular member of the 4 pairs. That is very obvious. He talked about the Arahant, right? He gave the answers. He talked about the Arahant. And here, in this whole verse, he's talking about the Arahant. And he said he takes the Arahant as a jewel in the Sangha, representing a jewel in the Sangha. But does it mean that he belittled the other 6 persons? No, it comes later. It comes later in the discourse. But here he talks about the arahantship first. So, with a steadfast mind, that means he's talking about how arahants actually work their way to enlightenment. Steadfast. The mind doesn't waver. The mind is concentrated. The mind is continuously here and here, here and here. It doesn't waver at all. So steadfast, that means a very sturdy, very strong, very diligent, and very sharp and very clear mind. And most of all, the steadfast means actually a really, really high state of concentration, a very deep jhana. Okay? So, because of this steadfast mind, they are able to what? They're able to free themselves from all the desires. And then they are able to plunge into this deathlessness. So, when they actually arrive to this deathlessness or deathness or nibbana, they are able to, or they actually able to get rid of all the defilements, mental defilements or passions or whatever, based on the wisdom that they have cultivated with a steadfast mind. Then they will reach the arahantship. So this steadfast mind is the most crucial quality that one has to actually upkept in order to reach arahantship. And this is actually not easy, okay? This is really not easy. We all understand this is not easy, right? We don't have like 1 minute of steadfast mind. We don't even have 1 minute of steadfast mind. Our mind is constantly like monkey knee. Monkey knee, jumping here and there all the time. And let alone when we sit in meditation posture, the mind is monkey enough. And let alone when we have our eyes open and all the senses, 6 senses all open, it's even more crazy. Right? It's crazy. It's really not exaggerated to call we all have a crazy mind. Really. And you can see how this arahant, how these Aryan people actually become so focused, and they apply such a vigorous mind to this path in order to achieve such a high state. When sorry, excuse me. Of course, somebody would say, I think I remember somebody asked me a question. I can't remember whether here or on the other nights in the Chinese teaching. And so, would you know whether you have reached that state of Sotapanna or Anagami or Satagami or Arahantship? Of course you would know. Of course you would know. You would know that your mind is monkey. That means on the other side that you would know that when you attain something, you would know that you have attained something. So in order to actually attain this nibbana or this deathless state, one has to really put one's efforts in. So there is no free lunch, no freebie at all. You put that much effort in, you get that much fruits. If you want fruits without putting efforts in, sorry, it doesn't come. Okay? So he says here, in here, so you can see that they have attained, that means the Arhat. They have attained to that which should be attained, encountering. So they enjoy this Nibbana, peace of Nibbana freely obtained. So in the Nikaya, there was a story. Sariputra actually, the Buddha asked Sariputra, he said, when a bhikkhu is totally liberated, what kind of qualities does he actually possess in order to proclaim that he is totally liberated? The Buddha asked Sariputra. So what are those strengths? And then Sariputra actually answered. There are actually 10 strengths, 10 of them. We can examine ourselves and see what kind of strengths do we have, okay? And okay, so this is the rest of the verse. We will look at those 10 strengths. So those 10 strengths are in the Sangha. So the 10 strengths are in the Arahatship, in the Arahat. And it says, this precious jewel is in the Sangha. Bear in mind, I always highlighted this in because this is not in the original translation. But which I studied the commentary and I studied some other commentaries, and I agreed with some of the commentators that it's actually, it should be a quality in the Sangha or the quality of the Sangha. It doesn't equal to this precious jewel is the Sangha. Okay, that's why I highlighted the in there. This is extra to the original translation script. So it says, by this asseveration of the truth, may there be safety, security, and peace. And also safety, security, and peace is the addition. I actually put that in because Bhikkhu Bodhi explained that this is from the Pali translation, that it should actually represent safety, security, peace, or you can actually include happiness in there. But without safety and security and peace, there won't be happiness. Okay, and so what are the 10 strengths of a liberated bhikkhu, of an arhat? So in there, Sariputra came and asked the Buddha. One day he came to actually pay respect to the Buddha. And you know the protocol or the etiquette of a bhikkhu going to see the Buddha, what would they do first? Etiquette of coming to see your wise teacher, a bhikkhu coming to see the Buddha. Anybody? Maria, did you put your hand? Oh, Paul, you put your hand up? Okay.
Pay respect.
Pay respect, yeah, pay respect. So, Sariputra came, he paid respect, and then he stand on one side. He stand on one side, and then Buddha asked him, Sariputra, so when a bhikkhu is totally liberated, what kind of strengths would he have? And then, because of those strengths that he has, then he can proclaim, I am totally liberated. So Sariputra said, bhikkhu, Sariputra said, Buddha, that liberated bhikkhu should have 10 kind of strength. And if they possess these 10 kind of strengths, then the bhikkhu can proclaim that he's totally liberated. So, which are the 10 kinds? The first is the total realization of impermanence. An undefiled bhikkhu attained this total realization of impermanence, not just by mere say, oh, impermanent, but actually see through the nature of impermanence through his deep jhana. And because of this strength, he can proclaim, I am totally liberated from all my defilements. So, have we seen that impermanence? No. Well, maybe a little bit.
A spark.
A spark is even too much already.
It's very transient.
Yeah, transient spark. Yeah.
An imagined spark.
An imagined spark, yeah. So this is really not easy to see that. And then really keep that in mind all the time, right? And then knowing craving is like a burning crucible. Why? Why would he say that? Knowing like craving is just like a burning crucible. When somebody see craving like a burning crucible, what is in the back of his mind? How does he feel about craving? How do you feel about craving? Oh, Maria. And then Versha. Maria?
I would think that every time that you reach out to get that craving, to
Yeah.
reach out for it,
Yeah.
it would be like putting your hand into a fire, because every time that you satisfy that craving, it's like being burnt.
Yep. Good. Okay. Versha? Say that again. Sorry, Versha.
It's very damaging and
Very damaging.
I was going to say something similar.
Yeah.
Very damaging.
Yeah, very damaging. Very destructive. Right? Craving is very destructive. And so, when a bhikkhu actually sees that craving is like a burning crucible, do you think that bhikkhu will still have those cravings arising constantly like us? Of course no, right? Of course no. So throughout the day, how many thoughts or actions of craving do we have throughout the day? Coming, oh gosh, Laurie said, I want to cover my face. Right? Check ourselves on that.
Every time we open the lunch book.
Did everybody hear what Paul say? He said every time they open their lunch box, because we pack lunch for them now, they don't come into the house to eat with us. So we pack lunch and they come and pick up the box outside the door. So he said every day he opened up the lunch box, oh, craving. Especially today, eh? Oh gosh. Okay, so craving. Because a bhikkhu actually possesses that strength of knowing craving and will not, what? Will not actually start to crave, because he sees this craving is like a burning crucible, and also he sees this craving is impermanent. Right? So he possesses that strength, and he can easily proclaim, I am totally liberated from all the defilements, at least from the defilements of craving. Right? Okay. Then the third one is the mind directs to deathless, or to quietude. You can also say, but I think deathless is more appropriate. To deathless, leans to deathless, and be happy in deathless. So the Sariputra said that the undefiled bhikkhu, his mind directs to deathless. That means he is not wavered from this path going to deathless. He leans to deathless. So the mind is always there. The mind doesn't leave that site, and be happy. So, because of the quality of the mind, being direct to it, leans to it, and be happy in it. Because of that quality of the mind, and sees that craving is like a crucible, a burning crucible, and see that craving is impermanence, he leans against this path towards deathness. And he is happy to be on this path, or even happy to have attained Nibbana. So, then he, at that time, he can easily proclaim, I am undefiled. I am totally liberated from these defilements. Okay? Then he says he is completed in the 37 qualities of enlightenment. And it doesn't say here, okay, 37 qualities. And you will say 10 strengths, but there are only 4 here. No, but in the 37, there are 7 strengths there. The 7 strengths with many good qualities, 37 qualities altogether, but 7 strengths. So these 7 strengths add on to these 3 strengths becomes 10 strengths. Okay? So, and of course, I expect all of you by now, haven't listened to the Dhamma for so long, most of you from the Tuesday group, you know what are the 37 qualities of enlightenment, or 37 steps to enlightenment. I expect you to know, but I don't expect you to know also. I expect you to know, but I don't expect you to remember. So you feel better? Okay. So I'm going to repeat it for you. All right? So I'm actually very kind in that sense. Okay. So 37 qualities of enlightenment. So in Chinese is 37道品. So remember the first one is, who can make a guess? In the 37, Laurie.
I think it's something to do with
Yes.
something to do with mindfulness.
Yes.
Oh,
Go on. How many?
4.
Yeah. Well done. Hey. Okay. Can we put a star to her? Can we give her a star? Okay. Well done, Laurie. You see? Good. Oh, yeah. Now, since he give you a thumbs up. Okay. So, 37, the 4 foundations of mindfulness, right? Chattara Satipatthana, 4 bases of mindfulness. So, please, which 4? You call yourself very serious meditator. Oh, Ma? Ma.
Mindfulness of the feelings, the mindfulness of
Say,
mindful-
start from beginning.
Okay, so it's the mindfulness of the body,
Yes.
the mindfulness of the body's feelings,
Okay.
the mindfulness of the mind states,
Mental states, yeah.
and the mindfulness of the mind content.
Mental quality, yeah. Mental qualities. That means the Dhamma. Good. So for Satipatthana, the first Satipatthana is mindfulness of the body. So the mindfulness of the body in the traditional Satipatthana, are you all right? Okay. In the traditional Satipatthana explanation is the mindfulness of the body and be aware of the impure qualities of this body. Impure qualities of this body. And then the second one is mindfulness of feelings. Of course, you can say physical feelings or you can say emotional feelings because it's talk about Vedana Nupassana. But what about these feelings? Whether it's physical, whether it's emotional. So you have to remember the mindfulness of feeling is because they are dukkha. Dukkha. If it is pleasant feeling, then you start to what? Crave for it. I want it, I want it, I want it. If it is unpleasant, I don't like it, you reject it. So constant arising of dukkha, constant arising of miseries, and constant arising of sufferings. So you need to be aware of that. And then the third one is the mindfulness of the mental states, Citta Nupassana. Citta Nupassana, that means you are aware of these mental states are constantly changing, impermanence, constantly changing. Then the fourth foundation is the mindfulness of these mental qualities, Dhamma Nupassana. The Dhamma of the mental states, that means the qualities of the mental states. What are the qualities of the mental states? What are they like? They are selfless. They arise based on conditions. They disappear. They pass away based on conditions. They are conditioned. There is no true self in these mental qualities. Okay? So what is the second one? So this is the first one quality, okay, adding to the last 3. So 4 foundations of mindfulness. And then the next one? Somebody said something? Somebody said something? No? Laurie again? Okay. Good.
I don't know, I'm guessing.
It's 4. It starts with 4.
Okay, we'll go with 4. It's something to do with effort.
That's great. 2nd star.
That's all I got.
Great. Good. Well done. 4 right strivings or 4 right efforts. So you all know. So Chattaro Samapatthana. So what are the 4 efforts? 4 types of efforts. Ever should know upside down, because I kept talking about this in the prison.
You wanted it.
No. Anybody? Varsha? No? Maria? No? Oh, Nora? No? Molly? No? Oh gosh. Mala? No? Ophelia? No? Sifu, don't torture us. Okay. Okay, 4 right efforts. Remember, 4 right efforts is if you have an unskillful state, you strive what? Not to let it arise. Yeah. Hit your brain, yes. And if it has arisen, then you try to what? Correct it, right? That's verse 2. And if it is a wholesome, skillful state, if you don't possess those seeds yet, what do? You plant more seeds. And if you know that you have those seeds already, what do? You multiply, you cultivate, right? So the first 2 is like pulling out weeds, yeah? And not plant any more weed seeds. The second part is you what? You nourish those good seeds, yeah? And you plant those good seeds. So the 4 great efforts, remember, yeah? Samapadana, huh? Okay? We have a test next week. Anybody hear that? Nobody will appear on the screen next week. After meditation, bye-bye, good night. Maria, want to say something? Maria, want to say something? Yeah. There you go, Maria.
I was thinking that we can't really not show up because we're here. We can't go anywhere. No excuses not to be here.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Where could you be?
This is a good effort, Maria. This is a great effort. You see? Good. Well done. Okay. So this adds to the last 4, okay, qualities of a liberated, undefiled person, Aryan. So, another 4? Nobody can guess now? The next 4? It's difficult to guess this one. No? Okay. 4 paths to power. Itipada, the Chattaro Itipada. That means the 4 paths to superpower, okay, or special power, magical power, mental power, whatever you want to call it, okay. So, which is the first one? I don't expect you to remember, but I expect you to know. The first one is willpower. Okay? So because of this concentration, if there is this will, it can travel fast. Willpower. And then the second one, the willpower to, the first one is the willpower to exert the efforts in concentration on this path. And then the second power is, you all know this, you should know this. is called virya. What is virya?
Is it the past lives?
No. Virya, that means energy, like diligence. You put this energy in here, focus and persist on this exertion. Okay? So that's the second power. The third power is the consciousness, the power of this, the base of this power actually also come from concentration. Mind you, all these powers, these four powers have to arise with a very strong base of concentration. Okay, and this power is talking about the mind. The mind is very intentionally intent. Okay, so it's very strong in this intention to what? To cultivate. Okay. Oops, sorry. And then the fourth power is the skill. It's the skill of analysis. You're able to actually analyze on all things, conditioned, unconditioned. Okay? So these four powers developed on this path. So altogether now is 6 strings already. 6 strings, right? Okay, so the next one, you all should know which are the five spiritual faculties. Which are the 5? Indriya. You all know the word indriya if you have set a 10-day course. But there are 5 indriyas. Which 5? Your 5 friends. Your 5 friends. Huh? Faith. Good. Faith. The first one is faith. Okay? Faith in what? Faith in what? Faith in the triple jewel. Faith in the triple jewel. Faith in the Buddha, faith in the Dhamma, and faith in the Sangha. Not just having the faith, it's actually conviction or commitment. Yeah? So that's the first one. The first friend, the first spiritual faculty. What about the second? The second is actually related to the 4 right efforts. So the second faculty, the spiritual faculty, in the 5 spiritual faculties or the indriyas, actually one of them is the 4 right efforts. Okay? And then the third one, actually, is the mindfulness. So it's related to the 4 foundations of mindfulness, the 4 mindfulness. So that is the third one, the third indriya. And then the 4th indriya is the result of the mindfulness. What is that? Okay, Laurie. Huh? Huh? Samadhi, yes, good. Concentration. So the 4th one is concentration. Okay, the 5th indriya, of course, panya, right? Panya, the wisdom. So 5 indriyas, remember them? First is the faith. Second one is the efforts. Third one is mindfulness. 4th is concentration, samadhi. And the 5th is the panya. Memorize them, please. Memorize them. Yes. Next week we will have a test. Okay, so this is 4. So the next one is the 5 strings. Bala. 5 bala. So what are the 5 bala? Where do the strings come from? You have the answers there already. Anybody can guess? Where do the strings come from? Okay, Maria, you're guessing? Okay, let her guess.
And I'm guessing,
Go ahead.
and I'm going to say it's the what we just talked about, the mindfulness and the efforts and the faith. That's where your
Exactly.
strengths are all.
Exactly. Those strings, the 5 strings, the 5 balas. Okay, the strength of the faith, the strength of mindfulness, the strength of samadhi, the strength of efforts, and the strength of the wisdom. Right? Yeah? Very, very, very good guess. Maria, 1 star. Okay, great. So you know that these 5 strings actually come from the cultivation of these 5 spiritual faculty. And because of this faith, then we have this power to commit ourselves on this path. And because we have this effort, then we commit ourselves in the foundations of mindfulness. And because of this energy that we put into the mindfulness, we developed this samasati. And because of the continuity of samasati, we will reach the samasamadhi, the concentration. And because of all these coupled together, all these 5 strengths coupled together, and you will definitely be able to have this inner quality of wisdom arising. Remember, always bear in mind, wisdom doesn't come from outside. It doesn't come from the external. It comes from within. Do you really need to cultivate it? No, you have to remove all those defilements, and the wisdom naturally will arise because it's always there. It's just being masked. Okay, so what is the next one? The 6th. It's the 7 factors of awakening, bojjhanga. So satta bojjhanga. So who remember the bojjhanga? Ivy. I make you guys memorize them last year in the Chinese teaching, and you forgot.
Mindfulness.
Oh, very good. Wow, nice. Mindfulness. Are you guessing or you just remember?
No, I'm cheat.
Oh, you cheating. Because of the cell phone, right? Okay, mindfulness. The first one is mindful.
It's really hard to translate the English to Chinese.
Or Chinese to English, yes. It's very difficult, yeah.
I'm picking out.
Okay, so the first one is mindfulness. So you actually remember to be mindful, and you are able to be mindful every moment. Okay, the continuity of mindfulness. And then the second one is, what is the second one? The investigation of Dhamma. The investigation, or you know how to choose. You know how to choose the right technique, and then the right place, and then and practice properly. Okay, so that's the second one. The third one is something has to do with the efforts again. So look at how important the effort is. It's everywhere. Mindfulness is also everywhere. Okay? So and concentration, of course. So the third factors of awakening, the third bojjhangas, is the energy or the efforts that one has to put in. And because of all these, and you reach a state of samadhi, and naturally you will have this concentration mind, then the mind will have a kind of joy, rapture. In Pali, it's called piti. Okay? So when you have this joy and rapture, and because of this concentration, the mind feels very, very calm and quiet and tranquil. Okay? And because of this tranquility, the mind unifies, concentrated, focus, very, very, very strong samadhi. Okay, and because of such strong samadhi, mind you, this strong samadhi is the Samma samadhi. It's not ordinary samadhi. It's Samma samadhi, and because of this Samma samadhi, the mind becomes what? Very, very balanced, and that is. Claudio Gallia? Upekkha, yeah, Claudio, well done. Upekkha, yeah, equanimity, Ping Dang Sam. Okay, the last one is Ping Dang Sam. So, because with such a concentrated mind, the mind's being not wavered, and you will start to see all these thoughts come and go. And why attach? Why grasp? And the mind just look at it. Just keep observing it and not grasping onto it. Okay? Sorry, we are overrunning a little bit. Let me finish the last one. You all can guess what is the last one, right? What is the last one? Okay, Laurie, guess. What is on the screen?
Sorry, I hit the arrow and then I took it away.
Your eyes are too fast, Laurie. I haven't put it on the screen yet. She's cheating. No star. Okay, the Noble Eightfold Path. So everybody knows about this. So look at this word. Magga, path. Area, noble. Atthajika, eightfold. Eightfold noble path. So you all know Eightfold Noble Path, right? By heart. So just spell it out, please. Just spell it out. Laurie and Versha and who else? Okay, Laurie, you first.
Right view.
Right view, okay.
Oh, you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. Right intention or motivation.
Okay.
Right speech.
Okay.
Action.
Okay, now Versha. Versha.
I was going to say right action.
Sorry, she took it.
Right.
Okay, you still have 4.
So right speech, right livelihood, right effort.
Oh, right livelihood, good. Right efforts, good. 2 more.
Right mindfulness.
Right mindfulness, good. And then the last one.
Right Dhamma samadhi.
Samma samadhi. Hey, good. Right concentration. Well done. So this is 37. So this is 37 divided into 7 categories, plus the last 3, these 10 strings. These 10 strengths for an undefiled bhikkhu. Okay, a totally liberated bhikkhu. So we can see this precious jewel is in the Sangha because of these strengths in this Arahat. Okay, so this is the precious jewel. And he said, by this asseveration of the truth, may there be safety, security, and peace and happiness. Because why? We actually, what is asseveration? Asseveration in a asseverate? The verb. You don't know?
Oh my goodness, even Lori doesn't know.
Even Lori doesn't know? Okay, never mind. Never mind. But anyway, because of we actually knowing this is the truth and this is the jewels in the Sangha, and because of this, we direct our mind towards that qualities, that wonderful qualities of the jewel, of the Sangha jewels, and because of this channeling of our mental energy into this kind of qualities of the Sangha, and may there be blessings. That means may we wish that there will be blessings for whatever that is happening around here. So remember, this Ratana Sutta is actually happening in a place where there are 3 disasters, where 3 difficult situations. First is the famine. The second one is evil spirits, and the third one is pestilence. Right? So remember that, and that. Why would a place having 3 different difficult situations arising at the same time is because when we talk about karma, it's the collected karma of that particular place to actually call for such disasters. Of course, the people do not call for such disasters, but their karma do, right? Just like us, our karma call for whatever that actually happens in our surroundings, in our environment. And Paul just told me in the beginning, after the meditation, is Fort McMurray had this flood. And a few years ago, they had forest fire. And poor folks, he said, poor people having had to go through all this. Why would it happen like that? Because of collective karma of individuals coming together in that place. That kind of energy actually attract that kind of energy. So we cannot blame anybody. The only person we can blame is who? Ourselves. Our past, not ourselves now, our past. But we can improve. We can improve from right now, right on. So if we constantly direct our mental energy towards this kind of wonderful, wholesome qualities, we naturally call for blessing. We naturally call for blessings. Okay, so this is verse 7. I expect to go faster, but I can't. It's so. Anyway, so this whole verse is actually talking about the excellence of the jewel in the Sangha. The excellent jewel in the Sangha. And of course, this Sangha member is the Arahat, not just ordinary Sangha, it's the Arahat. So if you happen to have this wonderful opportunity to offer offerings to Arahat, I'm sure you will reap a lot of tremendous merits in the future. Okay, no questions? So we will dedicate our merits. May these blessings extend to all, that we with all the other living beings together will attain the Buddha way. May we wish more and more people will encounter the teachings of the Buddha, the wise words of the Buddha study them, understand them, practice them, walk on this path, and liberate themselves from their own entanglements or their own defilements, their own dukkha, and be truly, ultimately free and happy and peaceful.